My name is Bob Dowd. This is my application video to Canada's Greatest Know-It-All. My upbringing was fairly typical. I grew up in a rural setting in Manitoba to start with, then in Saskatchewan, then in Alberta. I've lived all over the prairies. I'm not going to do anything fancy with this video. I'm not going to show off any computer skills or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you a bit about myself and why I think I know a little bit about everything. I started out young. I had to entertain myself. I was alone most of the time. So I did things like I seen a guy jump out of a plane with a parachute. So I got one of my father's hankies, poked some holes in the corners, tied some string to it, got various sizes of bolts, and threw it off the haystack until I could get it to float down. And that was how I entertained myself. I figured things out all by myself. I've done things like we got lost one time and we were almost out of gas. We were halfway out of gas. I realized that if we don't follow our tracks back, we were going to be out there all night in the cold. So things like that, where everybody else would have wanted to continue on and try and find their way out, I knew the logical thing was to follow my tracks back. Something that happened recently here, I was out with some friends quadding, and we were out in the gravel pits looking at a gravel cliff, and I said the top part, even though it's completely vertical, I could go down that, and when I hit the part that was sloped, if I accelerated with it in four-wheel drive, I could keep it from going end over end and come out to the bottom safe. Nobody believed me. So I went and I proved it, and I did what I said I could do, simply because I could see that it could work, problem solve it. I've been able to pretty much fix anything, build anything I needed to. A little bit more about me, I've got a patent. It's a mooring device for boats. I needed it. Necessity is the mother of invention, so I built this mooring device that's portable, it's solid, it's better than buoys, and I have the United States patent on that. It was in my bucket list, so I did it. Another thing in my bucket list would be an author. So I wrote a couple of books, had them published. Now I've got some books out there. I belong to Mensa, which means I can do math in my head fairly quickly. Not as fast as a computer, but sometimes right up there. Other things I do, if I go through my life, the jobs I've had, I was a cowboy originally. I used to top off horses. I started when I was 12, 13 years old doing that, breaking horses. Riding on the ranches and things like that. I did that till I was 19. Then I worked at the co-op downtown in Calgary, chasing shoplifters and dragging them back in, stocking shelves. I became a police officer when I was 29. That in itself is a problem-solving job. Every day I'm trying to figure out things. I've done things, in 1 second that most people would take a year to figure out. A typical scenario I had, two families fighting over a dog because the couple was splitting up. And I couldn't stop them all, so I took the dog and put it in the jail cell and went and did some paperwork. Left it there for a little while, gave it water, of course. The family stopped fighting because they ended up the fight over. I know quite a bit about the laws of the land, both civil and criminal. Anybody does anything on their house, like doing siding or tin roofs, they call me, I do the math, I can figure out how to help them build it. When I applied for the RCMP, I wrote what they called at that time a logic exam back in the 80s. They said I got the second highest mark in Alberta, things like that. So I continue on. Now in reconstructions for the RCMP, I can, every time I go to a scene, I have to figure out what happened. All I've got left is a few marks and a couple of smashed cars, and I've got to figure out how the collision happened, why it happened, who's at fault, things like that. I've got a couple of boys. If you want to think on your feet and try, you need kids, because trying to stay ahead of them is obviously keeps you busy. I've been through 4 schools. What else have I done here? I guess that about covers what I've done. I want to tell you, I know a little bit about everything. I do things. I know things like, I know that Mount Everest was the highest mountain in the world even before they discovered it. I know that elephants can't jump and they have 4 knees. I know that 0 degrees Kelvin is absolute zero. It's also minus 273 Celsius, and it's also 460 below Fahrenheit. I know things like that. If I come across a situation that I can't solve the problem, which is extremely rare, I did go to the University of MSU. Make shit up. Thank you.